All right, let's continue with the word of the Most High, giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Um, we were looking at Matthew 10 and 16, and we went through the serpents. It says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves," right? So we looked at the serpents, and bringing that forth concerning the wicked and them lying, and the Most High revealing it. Those lies, we shut down those lies and exposing their nakedness and their shame by all the things that they've lied about, and bringing forth this truth, which is opposite of a lie. So let's look at Matthew, this doves. Matthew, the 3rd chapter. Let's look at verse 13. It said, "Then cometh h.o.d.c from Galilee to Jordan unto John to be baptized of him." John was his cousin, John the Baptist. "But John forbade him, saying, I have need to be baptized of thee. You supposed to be baptized of me. And cometh thou to me? You coming to me?" He know who he is. Remember, he jumped in the womb when Mary went to Elizabeth and told her she was pregnant. John the Baptist jumped in the womb, so he older than h.o.d.c. And he was filled with the Spirit of the Most High in the womb, just like h.o.d.c was filled with the Spirit of the Most High in the womb. And the h.o.d.c answered, said unto him, "Suffer to be so now, for thus it becometh us to fulfill all righteousness, what was written of him. Then he suffered him. And h.o.d.c, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water, and lo, the heavens were opened unto him, and he saw the Spirit of the Most High descending like a dove and lighting upon him." Ascending like a dove and lighting upon him. "And lo, a voice from heaven saying, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." So I'm here to show you that the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of the Most High, descended upon him like a dove. Yes, that dove is like dealing with humility and a broken and contrite spirit. And then it tells you, not only that, go to Acts 5 in the Apocrypha, Acts the 5th chapter, no, not Acts, but 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter, Salakia, 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter, and verse 26, I believe. Acts, yeah. 2nd Ezra 5 and 26. "And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove." That's what the bird that the Most High loved. One dove. So the dove is a very meek and humble and bird that the Most High loved. He didn't love the eagle or no vultures or anything of that nature. Massive birds that's birds of prey. No, he loved the dove. I remember one time I was going to feed the homeless, me and the brother. So I always witness this. I love that. And a dove just came right by the window. A white dove came right by the window on the side of us. I'm going down the freeway and just was rolling right on the side of the window. Right there. I said, "Wow, you see that, man?" It was like, wow. And followed us a long way. Just right there. I was like, wow, what does this mean? But it happened. But that's the bird that the Most High loved. All praise to the Most High about showing h.o.d.c. But that's why we got to be wise as serpents, but we got to be harmless as a dove. A dove is what does a dove do? What a dove gonna do to another bird? You see? You got to be able to know how to transition yourself to be harmless as a dove, as he's saying. And sometimes it takes this. He's saying harmless as doves. But he said, "But beware of men," verse 17, For they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. See? For a testimony against them and the Gentiles, the wicked Israelites and the other nations too. You got 2/3 of our people ain't good for nothing. They Gentiles, wicked Gentiles. And you got the regular Gentiles that's wicked too. When they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. Saying the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and cause them to be put to death. You shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, for Bahashama Mashak Yahweh name's sake. See? He let you know. This is what's going to go down. So, as it is written, so it shall be. Is the Most High a man he shall lie? No. So here we are. That you know this happened to this actually happened to them too. He said, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end shall be saved. He's saying it. We read that before. But he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. You got to endure. He's telling you what they're going to do. He's telling you how they are. We got to endure, regardless. And not give in. 1 Peter 5:8. That's what you're dealing with. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober. Be focused. Be vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, say he sent us as sheep among wolves. Your adversary, your enemy, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. That's what's going on. He's seeking whom he may devour. As a roaring lion, you know, a roaring lion is ready to pounce on something, ready to tear something up. That's what he's doing. Look at Luke 21. And let's start at verse 33. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Understand this. He's not a man he shall lie, and his words not going to pass away. And take heed to yourselves. And take heed, pay attention to yourself. Lest at any time your hearts or your minds be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness. Drinking too much. That's why I say you got to be sober. Sober. And cares of this life. You care so much about this life, the world, that you lose your place in the kingdom of the Most High. Cares of this life. And so that day come upon you unawares. You ain't going to know that it's coming. It come upon you unawares because you're not in the spirit anymore. You done lost the spirit. For as a snare, a trap, shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore. You gotta be. How you gonna watch if you don't know what to watch for? You know the prophecies to be able to know what to watch for to see this coming. Watch ye therefore and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Be able to stand when that judgment comes. Stand before the Son of Man when this happens. 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. Hear the word of the Most High. Let it speak to you, people. Brothers and sisters, let him hear what he's saying. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Mashiach Yahushua. You're going to stand before Mashiach Yahushua when he bring forth the judgment upon each and every one of us. That every one may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. That's what we have the opportunity to choose: life, which is good, and bad, which is death, cast into the lake of fire. Knowing therefore the terror of a Mashiach Yahushua. They don't teach this. They only teach love, 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 love. Knowing therefore the terror of the Most High and of Mashiach Yahushua. Straight up. You say you're coming for vengeance. Knowing therefore the terror of the Most High and of Mashiach Yahushua. We persuade men, but we are made manifest unto the Most High, and our trust also are made manifest in your consciousness, the way you think, people. Your conscience is your mind. The way you think. That you can be converted, you can be changed, or else. Go back to Mark 9. I say we're going to get understanding today through these precepts. Mark 4 and 9. And he said unto them, once he spoke these parables, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. And when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable, the riddle. What are you talking about? Explain it to us. Some fell about a wayside, some fell among stones, some fell among thorns, some fell among good ground. And he said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of the Most High. But unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables. And we went to Revelations 22:15 to show you who's without. That seeing they may see and not perceive. You see it, but you're not going to perceive it. And hearing, you may hear it, they may hear and not understand. You're hearing it, but you don't understand. Least at any time, just any time in their life, people, they should be converted. They should be changed to a new man, to a new woman. And their sins should be forgiven them. See. Then you know that he don't want everybody's sins to be forgiven him. Else he wouldn't say it. Least at any time, that's in your life, they should be converted. They should be changed. And their sins should be forgiven them. Their sins should be forgiven them. But it's not because they ain't changing. Something went to the worse, changed for the worse. It's sad. That's why we got to pray for our people, because it's bad. But some people, you can't pray for them, because he already said what he gonna even said about them. They're already gone. Just proving it that because like I say, when you walk the earth, there's only the law and the prophets. Go to Matthew, the 13th chapter, and verse 13. Matthew 13:13. Therefore speak I to them in parables. Why? Because they seeing, see not, and hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. That's why I say, Mashiach had to go back to the Old Testament. That's all he had was the law and the prophets. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which said, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand. And seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. Why? For this people's heart, which is their mind, is waxed gross. These people's minds are waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart or their mind, and should be converted, should be changed, and I should heal them. See? But it's not happening. That's why you look at verse 14, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, right? Which said, by hearing you shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see and shall not perceive. That's what he's telling them. But if you don't know anything about prophecy, then what difference do that make? If they're not going to take you back to the point of how Isaiah made the statement that he's making to the children of Israel. That's in Isaiah 6 and 9. Isaiah the 6th chapter, the 9th verse. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. And see ye indeed, but perceive not. Say, make the heart or the mind of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart or their mind, and convert and be healed. So that's letting you know right there, he don't want everybody to be saved from their enemies and from the hand of all that hate them. Clearly right there. How you going to make it say anything or mean anything different? That's what he's telling you. At least they could understand with their heart and could be converted and be healed. That's what h.o.i is saying. Make the heart, the mind of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart, their mind, and convert and be healed. You know, he don't want to be changed. He don't want them to be healed. That's why we can't really be tripping on people that's not going to be changed to righteousness, that want to go back to evilness or already in evilness, don't want to come back to the truth, because he don't want them to be converted and he don't want them to be healed. They are set up for this. Sad to say, but it's real. You take it any way you want to take it. I got to take it by what thus say the Most High as the Spirit moves. 2nd Ezra 9:22. Let the multitude perish then. That's who's going to perish. Those we just read about. That's not going to be converted, not going to be healed. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. You got people that's born in vain. And let my grape be kept and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. So he got a grape and a plant that he's working on to make it perfect. Not a multitude. You know, Mosiah said, last I heard, he told John the Baptist he can raise up some stones to be his people. That's scary. He told Moses, look, I'll make a nation out of you. Who gonna challenge the Mosiah to say, hey, you said this, you were gonna do this, you didn't do it? Who gonna say that to the Mosiah? You understand this? Go to 2 Corinthians. Let me see. Let me show. 1 Corinthians. Go to 1 Corinthians 2 and 15. It says, but he that is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is judge of no man. So you spiritual, understanding the word of the Most High, learning, living, and applying in your life. When the book is closed, you can judge all things according to thus say the Most High's word. And you can be judged the same way. All of us. Listen, for who have known the mind of the Most High? Who have known the mind of the Most High? That he may instruct him. You're going to tell him what to do. Who know the mind of the Most High to say, this is what you said, this is what I think you should do. Because you said this or that or whatever. You're going to instruct him in what he should do. But we have the mind of a Mashiach. Because we are Mashiach. Because he told us in, go over one chapter, 1 Corinthians 3:23, say, and ye are Mashiach. That's why we have the mind of a Mashiach. And the Mashiach Yahushua is giving us the little bit that we know of the Father. We know in part, we prophesy in part. And a Mashiach is the Most High's. Understand this and understand this. See, so that's why I say, who have known the mind of the Most High? Who's going to tell him and tell him what to do? 2 Corinthians 2 and 15. 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 2 Corint He told Moses, I'll make a nation out of you, Moses. That's scary. Then he told John the Baptist, I'll build up some stones to be my people. He don't take no people to even make no people. He said he gonna take stones to be his people. Look, Isaiah 55 and 8. Isaiah 55 and 8. My thoughts are not your thoughts. The way the Most High think is not the way we think. You gonna instruct him? That's why people talk about they know they got their own power, they done created in their own mind. Most High's name is jealous. He said, I will melt you. Understand this. He said, my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. Who said this? Said the Most High. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Understand this. And understand this. Don't be trying to think you're going to jump into the mind of the Most High. We know in part and prophesying part. He gives a little bit of himself. Why do you think it's going to take 1,000 years to learn of him? 1,000 years. It's beautiful. Look at 1 Peter's the first chapter and verse 7. See, we all being tried, proving whether or not we're worthy. It says, 1 Peter 1 and 7, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perishes, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of a Mashiach h.o.i. See, and we understand, it says, though it be tried with fire, it's going to be tried first and foremost with that fire, which is Jeremiah 23 and 29. Not something you're going to make up yourself. Jeremiah 23 and 29, is not my word like as a fire? So you're being tried by the word of the Most High. That's why the spiritual man could judge you according to the word of the Most High. Is not my word like as fire, said the Most High, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? So, as he tells us in 1 Peter 1 and 7, that the trial of your faith is, let's define it, Hebrews 11 and 1, this is faith. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So faith is the substance of things hoped for. You desire certain things, but you don't see it yet. It's got to come in the future. You see? The evidence of things not seen. So that's faith. 1 Peter 1 and 7 again. That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perishes, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the period of a Mashiach h.o.i, you know. Because look at Isaiah 48 and 10. Isaiah 48 and 10. Now we know that fire is the word, so as you go through learning the word, you got to go through this too. It says, Isaiah 48 and 10, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. You say, just refining, he just said, their faith is more precious than gold that perishes. So he's going to silver that's it's not as valuable as gold. He says, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. Refining means you being burnt. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. That's that fire of affliction. For my own sake, he said. Even for my own sake. Not for our sake, but for his own sake, for the Most High's sake. Even for his sake will I do it. For how should my name, which is in our name, Yah, Sha'ala, be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another. He's not going to give his glory unto another, no other nation. He's telling you that. He said, hearken unto me, listen to me, O Jacob and Israel, my called. See, listen. Say, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. Furnace of affliction, to prove ourselves. That's why I go to Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, the 2nd chapter. We've been proven. Are you worthy? That's why he's telling us in Ecclesiastes 2:1, my son, if thou come to serve the Most High, everybody should be wanting to serve the Most High. Prepare. You got to prepare thy soul for temptation. Prepare your soul for temptation. Prepare your soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright. Set your mind aright. And constantly endure. And make not haste in time of trouble. Don't run in time of trouble. You got to constantly endure. Being in this truth. Like I say, once again, this is the 3rd time. He that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Say, constantly endure. And make it not haste in time of trouble. Don't run in time of trouble. Cleave unto him. Cleave unto the Most High. Cleave unto the Most High. And depart not away. Don't depart away from him, because you depart from him, you know you got the complete number of spirits waiting on you to destroy you. And your worst, your condition after you leave the truth gonna be worse than it was when you start learning the truth. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mightest be increased at thy last end. Here you're gonna be increased, not decreased, but increased. If you endure at thy last end. Listen, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. So whatever you're going through, you be dipped in a fire of affliction. He said, take it cheerfully. That's why you got to learn how to be happy. You got to learn how to smile. You got to learn how to be happy with this. Not sad with it. It says, surely oppression make a wise man mad. You got to be mad all the time. Walking around like a dang on goon or something. Come on. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. You see? You got to be patient. That deal with time. Get in this word. Study. It'll make you feel better. It'll bring you out of your oppressive state of mind. Because you look, because when you mad, you have all these problems that you're thinking about that you can't let go. Everything is up. Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. Shh, man. Better understand. That's why I say it's beautiful knowing the word of the Most High rather than not knowing it and trying to lean upon your own understanding. All you're doing is shortening your life. That's all y'all can tell you. If it's brought upon you, you better learn how to take whatever the Most High give you cheerfully. You know, I've seen it and been through it, and it tells you in Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, the 30th chapter, the 21st verse. It says, he said, when we said whatever he gives you, take cheerfully, right? He says, give not over thy mind to heaviness. So what, you been dipped in the fiery furnace of afflictions, going on, something you can't do nothing about, what you gonna do? You can't change it. So I say, give not thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel, the way you think. You afflicting yourself. This ain't the affliction of the Most High. This is affliction that you bring about to yourself on your own counsel, the way you think. Say the gladness of the heart, whatever you give, you take cheerfully. The gladness of the heart, of the mind, is the life of man. And the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. And the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So the sadness of a man shortens his days. Straight up. The joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Love thine own soul. He said, love yourself. And comfort thy heart. Comfort your mind. Comfort your mind. Remove sorrow far from thee. Hear this? Remove sorrow far from thee. For sorrow have killed many. I'll read it again. For sorrow have killed many. That's why I say, whatsoever he bring upon you, whatever. Let me read it. So I'll read it and I'll say it right. Ecclesiasticus 2:4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. This is why. He's saying, like I said, question and answer. It says, the gladness, verse, this is Ecclesiastes 30:22. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. That's why he's saying, take it cheerful. Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart, which is your mind. Remove sorrow far from thee. Remove sorrow far from you. For sorrow have killed many, and there is no profit therein. That's why you got to look at, it's an old saying, misery loves company. So when somebody's sorry, they say sorrowful, that doesn't do anything but hinder them in helping them to be well if they're sick. Or it bothers those that are happy because you got to deal with someone that's miserable. You can't be, he said, look, tell the Most High he don't know what he's talking about. Do that. Don't talk to me, talk to the Most High. Whatsoever, look, Ecclesiastes 2 and 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. He said, whatever is brought upon you, take cheerfully. He's telling you why here. Question and answer. He's going to answer right here. Ecclesiastes 30 and 23. Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Comfort your mind. Remove sorrow far from thee. Remove sorrow far, because he said whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Telling you, remove sorrow far from thee. For sorrow have killed many. What did he say in verse 21? Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of man prolongeth his days. So what you think sorrow does? He's telling you right here in verse 23, love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow, which is contrary or opposite of joyfulness, have killed many. And there is no profit therein. Many people have died of a broken heart, or just sorry all the time. Just, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorrowful. They can't get out of it. Look, envy and wrath shorten the life. Envy and wrath shorten the life. So you sit around envying someone, you want to get somebody, you all the time mad, want to get somebody, that's shortening the life. That's shortening your life. And carefulness bringeth age before the time. Carefulness all the time, technical. Looking at this, looking at that, trying to figure this out, figure that out. They bring age before the time. Looking at, like a lot of people, they look at ancient, like, how old are they? Man, they that young, looking like an old person. Looking old before their time. Look at Ecclesiasticus 14 and 2. Ecclesiasticus 14 and 2 in the pocket book. Blessed is he whose conscience, that's your mind, the way you think, have not condemned him. You don't condemn yourself. And a lot of people condemn themselves, but then they point the finger at someone else. But it's you that you're not satisfied. That's why you love thy neighbor as thyself. You ain't satisfied with yourself, but you want to point the finger at somebody else. Like they're the reason why you feel like you feel. You feel like that way because you ain't following what the scripture says. What's the scripture say? Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take how? Cheerfully. You can't do that. So therefore you opposite of the Most High. You rolling with the devil. What else can I say? That's what he said, dude. So if you ain't doing that, you rolling with the devil. You looking to be sorrowful to shorten your life. Many people have died from sorrow, like you just said. That's what I say. Ecclesiasticus 14 and 2. Blessed is he whose conscience has not condemned him, and who is not fallen from his hope or his faith in the Most High. You fall from your faith in the Most High, you're going to be condemned. Blessed is he whose conscience has not condemned him, and who is not fallen from his hope or his faith in the Most High. One more, Romans 14 and 22. Romans 14 and 22. Hast thou faith? You believe it. We need to define faith. Have it to thyself before the Most High. Have it to yourself before the Most High. The Most High eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of man. So have it before the Most High. Happy is he that condemneth not himself. Happy is he that condemneth not himself in that thing which he alloweth. See? Certain things you allow yourself to be sorrowful for because you allow them spirits to come in, or they're already there, And they just manifest themselves. Whoop, here come them spirits, whoop. They manifest themselves because you ain't never been exercised to be able to get rid of them spirits. Rebuke them spirits. So they're not dealing with you. And you can be happy. Why not? The Most High just told you what to do. He said happy is the whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. What it say? Happy is he that condemneth not himself in that thing which he alloweth. You allow yourself to be dealt with these spirits that will have you be sad. And that's not cool. That's not cool at all, people. You want the spirits that are going to have you follow the way of the Most High, period. That you rolling with the Most High and the Most High, not rolling with the devil that's looking to devour you. That's why it says it's going to shorten your life. Want to shorten your life. And you allowing it because of the fact of it becomes normal. And you don't recognize it because it's normal to you. That's why you have to do a self-examination. I got scriptures and lessons on self-examination. You better get it before they take it down. Self-examination. We all have to do a self-examination of ourselves, tear ourselves apart and build ourselves back up. Don't stay torn apart. Or you'll be sad. You'll be shortening your days. You want to come back that you can build yourself up to be happy. Look at yourself, look at what's wrong, and then we get all the wrong out of the way, then we deal with the righteous. No other way. Let's go to Matthew. 13th chapter. Verse 3. This is my second. We had went over this in Mark before. We didn't go through it all the way, but let's look at it. It says Matthew 13:3. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower, which is a farmer, went forth to farm. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside. And the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places, where they had no much earth. And forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched. So they had no deepness of earth. And because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and thorns sprung up and choked them. I guess the Spirit is bringing this out because this is needed. Somebody need to hear this. But other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some an 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who have ears to hear, let them hear. See? Now, let's get the understanding of it. Go to verse 18. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower, or the riddle of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, that's promised to the Israelites, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one. There come the wicked one. They trying to get it. Here come the wicked one. And catches away that which was sown in his heart. You listening to somebody that's wicked, or the world, and they're going to take away that which was sown in their mind. This is he that receiveth seed by the wayside. This is our people. You in this truth, next thing you know, here comes somebody in your ear saying this, that, and the third. You hear it, and next thing you know, you out. But he that receiveth the seed into stony places, the same as he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. Oh, wow, I'm an Israelite. Wow, they be all happy. Yet hath he not root in himself. He don't have the spirit of a h.o.i in him. Spirit of the Most High in him. But endure for a while. They endure for a while. Might be a few years, whatever. But when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, By and by, he is offended. By and by, he is offended. Like I said, you know, we done went through this, you know. They hated Mashiach Shai, they're going to hate you because they hated him. They hated Mashiach Shai before they hated you. But this ain't someone that's rooted in this truth. By and by, they're offended. You say something, they get offended. And their whole life go into hellfire behind them being offended over something that's really, really petty. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world, money, and the deceitfulness of riches, money, going out there chasing money. I'll be back, man. I gotta go get my bread together. Gotta get my money together. Never come back. And the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. But he that receiveth seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word, and understandeth it. You understand the importance of your name being written in the book of life, which also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth some an 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Be out there doing the work. And people are receiving it. And you see that when that judgment comes, you're going to say, hey, well done. Well done. Come into the kingdom of the Most High that's prepared for you. It's prepared for you already. So, it's beautiful. Look at 1 Peter's, the 2nd chapter, 21st verse. 1 Peter's 2:21. For even hereunto were ye called. You were called. This is the highest calling you can be called in, to come and to learn this truth, and to learn it, to live it, and apply it in your life once that book is closed. It says, for even hereunto were ye called, because of Mashiach Yahushua also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. He suffered us, and leaving us an example that we should follow his steps. Who did no sin. He didn't sin. Neither was guile found in his mouth. Neither was guile found in his mouth. Who, when he was reviled not again. When he was reviled, they went after him. He didn't say nothing back. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judges righteously, the Most High, who his own self bare our sins in his own body, as we read about in Isaiah the 53rd chapter. On the tree. Hear that? On the tree. Not on the cross, on the tree. That we, being dead to sins, should live unto righteousness, by whose stripes you were healed. For you are as sheep going astray. We're as sheep going astray. But are now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of our souls, Mashiach Yahushua. Return back to him. But we are Mashiachim. We are the anointed, the Messiahs. And the Messiahs is the Most Highs. But we are sheep going astray. But now, since he guided us, his sheep hear his voice, you hear his voice, you're going to follow the righteous way of the Most High, and nobody going to pluck you out of his hand. Because ain't nobody able to pluck you out of the Most High's hand. Straight up. As it is written. So, look at